Hello, pickbreakers and sheep punchers. This is JuryDutySummons, and I'm here in my Jury's Junkyard world once again, and we're in a dark pit underground for some reason. I swear, there is a good reason for this, and the reason is I'm going to design a not a cobblestone factory, an obsidian factory. That's right. And I'm going to do it down here because it's away from my base a bit, because I don't like how lava sets things on fire at random. Oh, whoops, daisy. Alright, so here's how we're going to do it. First of all, we need to make a base for it. And so I'll just put a hole a couple blocks down just to kind of form a base for everything. And I'm going to put up a little bit of a wall here. And then we'll put a water bucket here. This will be the lowest point. The important point for this part is that the water flows a little bit forward and is occupying this block right here. And so that's going to allow us to get this working properly. I'm going to set up a block breaker right there. And what was the other one I was going to do? A deployer. Right there. Alright, so we got the deployer facing in here and the block breaker facing into here. So that's what we want on this level. On the next level up, we're going to want a sticky piston, which I thought I had a frickin' Okay. There we go. We want the sticky piston back one from the either side. It can be on either side really, but I do prefer it on this side. Actually, it kind of does need to be on the deployer side just for the way timing works. And we'll give it a block to push around. So let's give it Glassworks, I guess. Close enough. Alright, and so then we want to do that. Oops. There we go. What this is going to do is help provide some containment for something coming up after this. There we go. And what we're going to do here is put another glass there and pull the lava bucket down. I'll show you what's going to happen. Well, first of all, that's going to go down all the way down to the bottom there. And it's going to turn that one into cobble. That's fine, because we're not quite ready for the whole system to work yet. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to set up a block right there. And we're going to put in an inverter. So there we go. That will cut off the lava. So that's exactly what we want to do. And let's set up some wire here. And then we'll set up some wire here, just because that's a good place, I guess. And in case you don't know the trick, let me get rid of that so we get the water back to where it should be. In case you don't know the trick, there is a way, to convert lava into, redstone essentially, into obsidian. And so that's what we're going to do here. So this deployer, the way it works is it looks at what's in the system in here, starting at the top left and working its way down, and then tries to right-click with that. And when you right-click with redstone, it does that. So we're going to put that in there so it'll do that. So every time this block right here is activated, it will deploy redstone right down there. So let's put a switch on here to do that. And let me break this connection here. Oops. Let me break this one right there so that way these things can be done independently of each other. So there we go. You can see how it deployed the redstone inside that little area. Okay. Let's put this wire back where it was. Ta-da. Alright, and then we'll deploy this. So, as you know, when the switch goes on, it deploys the redstone. It's already there, so it's not going to do it again. But it's also going to retract the piston. So let's see, make sure that works. No, it doesn't work. Alright. Let's try things a little differently this time, I guess. Okay. I think we're getting some weird crossover on the connection there. So let's do that. Let's try that one more time. There we go. So you saw that piston retract, allows the lava to come down, and when it gets to the when it gets to that block down there, to the redstone block, it'll turn the whole thing into cobblestone. Now, this is probably a bug, so it may not last for long. This may be patched, but it's been around for a little while, for at least a couple of versions, and it hasn't been patched yet. So maybe it'll stick around for a while. But in the meantime, it's a neat way to convert redstone into cobble, or into obsidian. Which, for those of you, oops, there we go. I didn't mean to do that, but that's how it works. Oops. So you saw when I activated this block breaker, it threw a block out the end. So essentially, it breaks whatever block is in the way. It even break a flowing lava. That's cool. And then spits it out the back. If we want to have somewhere to catch it, we can throw a chest right there, and it'll happily throw whatever the thing is into that block right there. So has it messed up my water again? It has. Okay. All right. Well, that's okay. We can figure that out. Oops. Let's turn this circuit off to turn off the lava flow. Remember, that pushes forward that piston block, and the water flow is fixed. All right. There we go. All right, I promised you guys an automated way of doing this. So let's see what that's going to look like. Let's get rid of that piston. Excuse me. Okay, so what we need here is a circuit that will turn. So you saw how long it took for this to go through. So that's back. That takes a while to go down, and then it makes that. So that needs to stay on for a couple of seconds, 2 or 3 seconds. But on the other hand, so after that happens, it needs to close. So this needs to go off, and then this needs to go on, but it only has to be on momentarily to pick up that obsidian. So we could do a timer, just a regular old-fashioned timer, and set the whole thing to 6 seconds, or 8 seconds, or 10 seconds, and it would work. But the whole process would take a long time. It would just take you're only making one, a couple dozen every minute. So let's see if we can do a little better at that. So what I'm going to do is essentially build a circuit that's a bit lopsided in its timing. And I had a design I worked out earlier, but I'll have to see if I can remember how I did that. All right, so since we're going to deal with a, okay, we'll start with a timer here. Repeater, that's an XOR gate, and you'll see what I'm using that for in a minute. I brought these insulated wires down. I don't think I'm going to use them though, but I guess they're there in case I really need them. And some covers, because hey, covers. Alright, so what is that? That's my XOR gate. XOR gates are essentially the equivalent of where's my redstone torch? There it is. Of that. So they get an input, they turn the output, they toggle the output essentially. So it's a very simple block. But I've found that the redstone version of these tends to work just a lot better. So let's see. Did I place that right? I think so. I think I put it right. Yeah, I don't remember. I apparently didn't bring my screwdrivers, so we'll see. And that right there is just a stone strip rather. That'll keep the wires from crossing. So there we go. Okay, perfect. So this in redstone parlance is a toggle flip-flop. So you provide a current, something that activates it from one side, it'll switch, and it'll stay that way. And so you get a current in from an input from another side. There you go. It works pretty well. And but we need something to make this all work. So we'll throw a timer out here. Let's put it, say right there. So that provides a current. So it provides a little tick right there. And then we'll put that there. That was weird. Shouldn't have blinked like that. Well, in any event, let's make this timing up a bit here. So we can put an input there, toggles it to your side. You know, it's not supposed to be doing that, and I'm not sure why it is. The funny thing is, I had this sucker working just not even minutes ago. Okay, let me move this whole thing to the side. I'm going to cheat. I took a screenshot of how I had it working, and so what I'm going to do is kind of build it the same way I had it before. So there's that. Well, that's right. Okay, there we go. And then we want another output. Okay. Let's see. Is that what I wanted here? All right. Now I can't, for the love of me, remember what the hell I'm doing. Oops, not one of those. That would be a repeater. I want a timer now. So how did I have this done? For crying out loud. This was not working that way earlier. Okay, I'm going to pause it here. Figure out what the hell I'm doing wrong. Why it's suddenly working different than before. Alright, I'll be back in a bit. Alright, so I'm back. I replicated exactly what I had done before, and I figured out that it looks like these inputs behave just a little differently than I thought. So these ones on the side behave a little differently than the other ones. And I don't know why. I don't know why that is. But configured like this, so you can see it's pointing in that direction. And this one is pointing in that direction. So it's the side input that's getting the power. Don't know why that makes a difference, but apparently it does. So let me put the timer back on there. And we'll put some current on there. Hopefully that'll toggle like it's supposed to. Nope. Apparently it won't. Well, let me show you the rest of my circuit. It was working so great not too long ago. Ah, for crying out loud. Okay, so what I was going to have here is a repeater. Right there. And I believe that is the right direction. This torch on that side, this torch on that side, and we're going to set the timer on there a couple clicks in. I believe that's good. And then over here, this one was going to go all the way back over to here. So when this side is powered, this side of the toggle is powered, it will stop the timer for a little while until the power goes through this and then toggles this again to turn off this power. So I believe that should do it. Let me just make sure with a little power here. Yep. So power, this one is power. When this is powered, this stays off. So that's good. That's what we're looking for. Let's throw our timer back on there. See what happens. Let's set the time to something more reasonable. I think it's like 4 seconds is good. I haven't a clue. I haven't the foggiest clue, but this was working. Not too long ago. Well, Snikes. Set that increment to longer. You can see how that timer stops until that happens. But that's supposed to stay on. Why isn't it staying on? Well, until I can figure this out, the project is a bit bust. But it was working earlier. The whole thing was working earlier just fine. All right, well, someday I'll figure that out. Yeah, so right now I'll just move on to the next point of this project. And so what we're going to do is we're going to set up a... Let me get rid of that. So we'll bring the current all the way over here. Oops. And we'll do it through under the stairs. And since we want one working, one powered and the other one unpowered, what we're going to do is create an inverter here. And let me just connect this before I do that so I don't break anything. There we go. There we go. You can see how when it gets powered, this turns off like it's supposed to. There we go. That should work. Let's see what happens when we do this. And there we go. Perfect. And then we're going to put power back on the circuit now. Perfect. It breaks the block and it pushes the piston back over there to stop the lava flow. So that works exactly how we want it. Now, if only I can make this work, this bloody circuit. This should work. This should work. This should function, and I don't get why it's not. So there's a NOR gate. It's exactly what it should be. All right, let me pause it again, and I'll play around with it a bit more. I don't know why it's not working, but it should. Okay, I'm back. I've done a little bit of reading more into some of the other options that come with Redpower, and I found something that turns out works. And so here's what I have. It is called the multiplexer, and it's a bit complicated to make, and I'm only kind of really using some of its capability here, but one thing it can do, well, it's a little complicated to explain what it does exactly, but let me show you a little bit about what it can do. Oops, I don't want to do that. What am I doing here? Okay. So we get the input on that side. We'll toggle to the right there, okay? Input on this side turns off that toggling. And I believe input on the back here. Okay. All right. So the input here switches what side has control over the circuit. So when it's on, the left side has the control. So you can see that right there. But then if we do that, it doesn't turn it on and off. If we turn that off, then the right side has control. The upshot of that is that we can do something like this. And we can create, so we'll give it power, Well, this side is telling it that this side has control. So it's essentially a self. It's a circuit that stays on, but it will turn off when you provide it power on that side. So it can act as the flip-flop that we were trying to create before. So that's what I'm going to be using it for here. Getting it orientated correctly is kind of weird, but let's see if I can do it right. I think that's correct. So there we go. The redstone's a little funny in this case, but let's see if we have this right. And this is the delay circuit again. We're going to set it to just that many right there. Just needs a short delay. I think that's 4 ticks, something like that. Let's clear up this mess. Alright, we got it all hooked up to the process over there. Let's see what happens. And there you go. That's working like it should. So that comes on for a few ticks and then goes off for a long time. So that's what we want to make this work. So let's watch over here. So it gives enough time for it to go down, turn to Obsidian, and then it... There we go. So it gets rid of the block. It deploys a block, opens up, more cobble goes down. Or not cobble. Haha! Lava. And we can see in here, oops, it probably misfired once. That's why the redstone's in here. Probably when I was testing it. So there we go. We actually got some obsidian being created. And it's steadily going to work through and make a bunch of obsidian. Now, you could hook this up into a much larger system. All you'd have to do really is move that block breaker. Well, you know, I'm not even sure where you want to move it. So if you moved it out to here, yeah, I don't know. It'd be kind of weird. But you could do a bigger system, I think. Have a row of 8 of these. You could chew through obsidian or through redstone and make obsidian like mad. But right now, I'm just going to go through and make finish off these 2 stacks of redstone. I don't have a ton of need for obsidian right now, so I'm not going to make this system go super fast. But it will sit here and slow and steady, make a bunch of obsidian for me. And this is the final circuit, and I don't know why the other one didn't work. I took a screenshot of my other circuit before I tore it up to do the video, and I rebuilt it identical what the picture is. It wasn't doing that last night. It wasn't doing that 10 minutes ago when I was taking a look at it to remember what I did. Oh well. I don't know what's going on. I don't get paid enough to figure this crap out, man. Alright, if anybody has any questions or comments, please let me know. And I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I always try to respond to maybe not every comment, but most of them, I guess. And yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, Dwarf Fortress coming soon. I'm kind of waiting on the Lazy Noob pack to update. I want to do with a newer version of Dwarf Fortress. So right now Dwarf Fortress is at 31.05 and Lazy Noob pack is sitting at 0.02. And there are some major bug fixes between 02 and 05. And so I'd like to wait until Lazy Noob pack updates, and I've been checking every day. Oh boy. Well, in any event, I'm going to let this go for a while and reap the rewards. The one downside is when this system runs out of redstone, it's going to create a cobble block right there. Which is not that big of a deal because you can just come around here and smack it out. So there we go. It's special. And I am so tired. Why am I so tired? Oh wait, because I woke up at 4 in the morning. Oh, back to the grind.